Okay, so I'm going to explain the homework for relations. Now, the definition you can get from page 67 of your interactive notebook. Those of you that were absent, you can always ask a friend, okay, what did I miss? You can come see me before school and get all the papers that you need. There were a lot of papers that we worked through yesterday, so you'll probably want to make sure you take care of that during homeroom. So the set of all y values is called a range. All right, so we did this in class, but just to make sure that everyone understood, the domain. The domain is the set of all x values in the relation. And in this relation, there are 5 ordered pairs. So all the x values, I'm going to circle x coordinate. And then to show that it's a set of numbers, I'm going to open up with a curly bracket. Put my first x value here, my second x value here, third x value, fourth, and then the fifth one, I'm not going to write because I already wrote that once. So if it repeats, don't write it again. So I'm going to close that set. Now the y values are the ones that I didn't circle. Okay, so those are my y values, the ones that I just underlined. So let's see what they are. 1, 0, 2, -4, and 5. None of these repeated, okay? So notice, like, in the range there are 5 numbers, whereas in the domain there's only 4. And that's because in the domain we had a repeating number, and so we didn't write it. So sometimes that happens. You might have the same number of values in a domain and range, or you might have them be different. Now, to create a table from ordered pairs, you literally directly just record from the ordered pairs. Remember, these are xy's, and they go together. So this x pairs with that y. So you just write it -3, 1. Imagine there's a comma between them. And then the next one is -2, 0. So we write that. And then you have 1, 2. Then you have 3, -4. And then -3, 5. So if you have 5 ordered pairs here, you should have 5 ordered pairs here. Okay? Okay, which is a little bit different than when you're writing domain and range. Now, mapping. Mapping is basically like the domain and range. Here's your x and here's your y. It should have all the x values that don't repeat. So we have -3, or without repeating them. So -3, -2, 1, and 3. And I'm not going to rewrite the -3. Okay, and just to mix it up, I'm just going to put these in order from least to greatest. -4, and then 0, then 1, 2, and then 5. Now, you don't have to put them in order from least to greatest. On tests they may or may not, but as long as you have all the x values and all the y values, and that you mapped them together correctly, you're good. So, -3 pairs with 1. Notice the arrow's going in one direction only. And then -2 gets paired with 0. And then 1 gets paired with 2. And then 3 with -4. And then -3 again with 5. So you see 2 arrows coming from -3. Now, depending on which class, we might have done a different order, but we should still have the correct pairings. As far as the graph, you should have 5 ordered pairs on this graph because you have 5 ordered pairs to begin with. So I'm going to label this x and label that y, put an open circle where the origin is, and I'm going to plot -3, 1. Since the x is -3, then I have to go left 3 from the origin, and then I have to go up 1 because this is +1. So 1, 2, 3, and then up 1, and you plot your point. Okay? If it helps you, check it off so you know you've done it. -2, 0. Well, the x is negative, and remember, x only goes left and right, so you have to go left 2 because it's negative. And then the y tells you to go up or down, but it's 0, so you don't go up or down at all, and you just stay on the x-axis. That one's done. And then 1, 2, you go right 1 because this is x and it's positive. So I go right 1 and then up 2 because it's a +2 in the y spot. So that takes care of my third order pair. The next one is 3, -4. Since x is positive and x only goes left or right, this is going to go right 3, and this is going down 4. So go right 3, 1, 2, 3, and down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And lastly, this x is negative, so you're going to go left 3, and this 5 is positive, so you're going to go up 5. So I go left 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is my last. Oh, I forgot to check those. Okay, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 5. The only numbers that may vary is the domain and range because of repeating numbers. All right, let's try the next row. Now, what I would suggest here is you try it on your own. Maybe do this part first, pause the video, and then check it after you've done it. Then you can try this one and then check it, pause and check, do it that way. Okay, so the domain. So at this point, I would advise you to pause and do it on your own. Okay, now I'm going to imagine that you unpause and you're about to check your answers. So the domain is all the values, or all the x values in this set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 again. And I'm going to circle all the x values, which is the first one. And I don't see any repeating, so I'm going to have all 5 of them included. Now let me make sure my eyes didn't play a trick on me. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now let's look at the range. -3, 4, -2, 4, and -1. Okay, so I see that there's a 4 repeating. So I still write it, but I only write it once. So -3 gets written, then 4, then -2, and not 4 again, and then a -1, which means the range has less values, making sense this time. Okay. All right. So now again, pause the video and see if you can do the table, and then unpause to check. All right. So this table should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values because there's 5 values here. So I'm going to put -2, which is paired with -3 right here. Then -1 paired with 4. Then 0 paired with -2. Then 2 paired with 4. Then 5 paired with -1, and done. Pretty easy. Mapping diagram, you put your x's here and your y's here, and this is your domain and range. Okay, so if you want, you can look directly at your domain if you're confident that you got it right. So I'm literally just going to copy these. So -2, -1, 0, 2, 5. Okay. Now the range, I don't want to write all of these, especially the ones that are repeating. Okay. Again, I'm just going to change it up, and I'm going to put the negatives first. So the lowest negative is -3. So I'll put -3, then -2, then -1, and then +4. 4 repeats, but I'm not going to write 4 again here. So you're going to see it's a little unbalanced, but it's going to balance out with our arrows. So -2 pairs with -3. -1 pairs with 4. Draw your arrow going in one direction. 0 pairs with -2. 2 pairs with 4. So 4 gets used twice as a y value, which makes sense. It repeats here. But it's paired up with 2 different x's, which makes sense. And then 5 pairs with -1. And then you plot these points. Now, if you have 5 ordered pairs, you should have 5 ordered pairs here as well. So I'm going to label this y and x, and then I'm going to put an open circle where the origin is so I can tell where it is. And this x says -2, which means, remember, x goes left and right. If it helps you, write left and right. This is up and down. So this is going to go left because of the negative. So I'm going to go left and then down 3. So left 2 and then down 1, 2, 3. That one's done. And now this one, again, it's left to right. It's left because of the -1, and now I'm going to go up because it's +4. So starting at the origin, left 1, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then x is 0 here, which means I don't go left or right, but the y is -2, which means I just go straight down 2. The x is positive, which means you go right 2, and the 4 is positive, which means you go up 4. So you go right 2 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then 5, you go 5 right and down 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 1. And don't connect the dots, okay? This is a discrete graph because if you connect the dots, that means there's a lot more points here too. That's part of the relation. Okay, and very last. Now this one, it's different because it actually starts with the points first. Okay, so that means you really got to be very careful because all your answers will be dependent on this. So I would put my x here and y, and if it helps you, okay, if you want to write the negative, this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, this is -4, this is -5, this is your origin, 0, 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, +1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So let's try one. It doesn't matter which one you do if you want. Okay, so let's say I'm going to do this one. So if I do x first, that means this axis, and it's going this way at -5. So it's at -5 and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, -4. I'm going to just put that here just to help my brain. Okay, and then I'm done with that. Let's try this point. So from the origin, I do x first, and it looks like I went -2, and then you had to go up 1, 2, 3. So -2, +3. Okay, and then I have another point here, which if I start at the origin, I didn't go left or right for the x, so that means it's 0. But I did go down 1, 2, 3, which is a -3. Okay, so that one's done. And then let's go to this one. I have to do x first, so I go 2 to the right, because I have to turn the corner to get down there. So 2 to the right, and then I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down means negative. Alright, so I'm done with that one. And then if you want, for this one, you have to go right 4 on the x-axis, and then up 2. So 4, +2. Okay, so I can work with that, and then I can mix it up here. So let's say I'm going to put, well, maybe I'll go over here. So the set is like literally what you see here. So -5, comma, -4, close parentheses, comma, and then I have another parentheses, -2, comma, 3, close parentheses, comma. Then I have 0, comma, -3, close parentheses, comma. I've got 2 more now. 2, comma, -5, close parentheses, comma. And then 4, comma, 2, close parentheses, close set. Okay. Domain is all the x values of the relation. So you got -5, -2, 0, 2, and 4. Looks like I have all 5 values. None of them repeat. Whereas the range, let's see, you got a -4, a 3, a -3, a -5, and a 2. Yeah, you have all values. None of them are repeating. And now as far as the domain, okay, I would pull now, you can pull all the x's because none of them repeat, and they go in order, so I'm just going to write it like that. And here I'm going to put them in order from least to greatest. Not that you have to. If you don't, and you do exactly like this, then you're going to get an arrow going straight, 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 which is fine, like horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. And that's absolutely fine as well. They don't have to crisscross, okay? So let's say, yeah, well, let's say you did it exactly like that, -4, 3, -3, -5, 2, okay? Then literally your arrows will look like this, and that's absolutely fine because you just pulled it without, changing the order and putting them from least to greatest, okay? And there is no repeating x or y, so literally there's just one match. Now, if you change the order of these arrows would crisscross, and that's okay. All right, and that should be it. If there are any questions, just bring them up in class or ask them through talking points.